Hi, I'm Jessica, and when I'm not drinking all the coffee, watching Razorback sports, or hanging out with my family of boys, it's my passion to help elementary music teachers just like you find your unique teaching style. My goal with this podcast is to share helpful tips, strategies, and to give you the motivation you need to gain momentum in your teaching so you can continue being the music teacher rock star you already are.
I want to talk today about getting back into the groove of teaching after winter break. Show of hands. Let me see your hands. How many of you, you're back to school this week? I mean, I think most schools in the United States, at least, are back this week. And are your students, are they focused? Are you having a hard time getting them to pay attention? Are they still sluggish after Christmas break? Whatever it's like, I want to talk about how you can get back into the groove of things. You personally, but also how you can get your students motivated to come back to school and learn music, right? Because it's kind of a challenge. You may not fully, let's just be real. We can keep it real with each other, right? You may not fully be 100% ready to be back yet, okay? And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with saying that. It doesn't mean you don't like your job. It doesn't mean you didn't miss your students. It doesn't mean that you don't want to be there. Well, sometimes you don't, let's be honest. But it just means that you maybe just weren't ready for a break to be done. Maybe you didn't accomplish everything you wanted to accomplish. But you are back. And if you are back, maybe you've already started back. Sometimes it's hard for you to just get motivated. It's kind of like the little engine that could, right? You're going to kind of pick up steam as you go. Sometimes it just takes a minute for you to get back into the swing of things. You knew what date you needed to go back. You knew that it was coming. You knew that, ready or not, here you go. You don't have a choice. You got to go back to school. Like you tell kids, you got to go to school. Teachers, I'm telling you that. But now that you're there, you maybe didn't really prepare before Christmas break, before January hit. Or maybe you did, and then once you came back to school, you realized, wait, those lesson plans I planned, I really don't want to do those. That's not really what I planned. Or maybe your principal last minute said, hey, I really want you to prepare this for this program, or whatever's coming up. You just enjoyed your break so much, which you should have. But what I was going to say is, it's just, you enjoyed your break, and you should have enjoyed your break. That's the whole point of having a break, is for you to get a break, right? And it's okay if you did nothing related to school during the break, because you needed to take the break that you needed. But now that you're back, there's some ways that you can get motivated again to teach, okay? First of all is preparation. And like I said, maybe you didn't really prepare over winter or before winter break hit for January. Maybe you just were like, forget all this. I'm leaving it at school, and I'm going to take my full 2 weeks off and not worry about school one bit. And that's fine. But maybe you came back to school and you just, this week is kind of like you know what? I'm just going to get through this week, and then I'll really plan for next week. But maybe you are, you're just not motivated. Maybe you just feel like you're going through the motions and you're not really motivated. And the way to get motivated, first of all, is just by doing it. Sometimes when you feel like you're not motivated to do something, go back to why you became a teacher. Okay, why did you want to teach music? Why did you get a music education degree? Why didn't you go and get a degree in anything else? Why did you decide to become a music teacher? Because you love music, and you probably love teaching kids, and you want to inspire them, and you want to teach them music and see their faces light up when they learn a new song or when they learn an activity, right? Okay, so it's easy after, well, it's not easy. The transition from summer to the beginning of the school year is another thing. But I feel like spring, it's almost harder to go back, because it's just going to pick up steam, and that's just, it's like a snowball rolling to the end of the school year, right? But finding your motivation, first of all, go back and remember why you started teaching music, okay? Then I want you to remember, how far have your students come this year? From August to now, or if your school starts in September, how far have they come? I'm sure they've come a lot farther than you think they have. They have learned so much. You maybe have some kids that had never sang a song in their life. Maybe you've had a kid that's never touched an instrument before. And because of you, they're able to do that, right? So what can you do to build on the foundations you've laid in music class the rest of the year? I love springtime because, especially with the upper elementary, that's really when we get into composing, and really when we get into, like singing rounds and even more harder things. It's just when we've applied all the basics we've learned and really apply them to harder activities. And so think about that. Think about how much fun you're going to have. And even though you're sluggish and you're not ready to put on like normal clothes, you want to stay in your pajamas and you just want to watch Netflix all day. Think about why you're there. Think about how much your students need you. Think about all the things you can teach them from now through the end of the school year. And you guys, there's no one that can do what you do. There is no teacher in that school that can teach like you. There's no other music teacher that would do as good of a job as you do at your school, right? Or with your students, okay? So find your motivation. Remember why you started teaching music. Think about all the things you've done and all the things you're going to get to do with your students the rest of the school year. The next thing I want you to think about is to find your motivation is, are you mentally preparing yourself? What can you do to prepare yourself? Like, what I mean by that is, are you getting enough sleep? Are you getting your lunch ready the night before? Are you making sure everything's laid out? Have you picked out your outfit? As much as you can do the night before will help you get up and get moving quicker in the morning. Okay. And sometimes you just have to think about this week, the first week back, it's just going to be hard no matter what you do. It's just hard to go from taking a break, being sluggish to, oh my gosh, I'm so tired, I don't feel like doing this, right? Okay. And if you're a parent on top of that, getting your kids to get their hindies moving also is another story. So finding your motivation, I'm just going to motivate you that you're doing okay. If you're having thoughts like, I don't want to be back here, and you're grumbling like your students, it's okay. You all may have a rough week back, or maybe you're one of those teachers that just loves to go back and you are over the break and you are so ready to get back into the swing of things, and that's amazing. So find a teacher near you and motivate them, okay? I am so glad to be back, and you guys, I hope you're having an amazing week and you had an amazing holiday and that you are enjoying teaching music today. I will be back next week. See you later. Bye.
Thank you so much for listening in to the Elementary Music Teacher Podcast. Be sure to subscribe to the podcast so you never miss an episode. And while you're there, I would love for you to review the show and leave a rating on iTunes. To find out more about how I can help you gain momentum in your elementary music teaching career, head to thedomesticmusician.com, where you'll find free downloads, courses, the blog, and so much more. Continue teaching music and never doubt the impact you're making each and every day in the lives of your students.